Hey guys, it is the end of the year, the end of 2024, and I have seen still not as many movies. I don't even know if I saw as many as I saw last year. I promised myself I was gonna see more, review more. I did end up getting rid of my good cameras, so I have been having to use my phone. I don't have that much time on my hands. I work full time, and I actually am on a 4-10 schedule at work. So that's been a lot. And then I'm also doing stuff on the side, like I opened up a booth, antique stuff. But I wanted to come back on here, and I ended up seeing a total of 18 films this year. You know what? I don't even think I put them on there. Oh my God, I totally forgot. So I will have to add another one that I saw at the beginning of the year on here. I did not even list it, but I just forgot about it. So I've seen 19 films this year, and let's do our yearly ranking of these films. I think I'm actually going to go backwards from worst to best. And you don't have to agree with my listing. This is just my opinion of my list of what I think was the best films from 2024. So the absolute worst, I kept saying in a lot of the reviews, I hope I never see a film worse than Love Lies Bleeding. I found it, and unfortunately it was one of the ones that was like my top anticipated film of the year, and that was this year's Imaginary. It was not one I saw in theaters. I saw it on a streaming platform. And the trailer looked really well done. I enjoy the idea of imaginary friends. There's another film that's going to be on here talking about imaginary friends that executed it a lot better. I liked how this one was like your imaginary friend kind of turned its back on you and becomes your worst enemy. And it just fell so flat. I don't even know what the plot was. There's nothing scary about it. And I liked the DeWanda, I know her first name is DeWanda. She played in Jurassic World 3. And I like that actress, but the plot, the story, the writing, the script, the CGI, everything fell flat. It just was so forgettable. So that's the worst film. Then is the one I kept saying, I hope I don't find something worse than this. I saw it in theaters by myself, and that was Love Lies Bleeding, starring Kristen Stewart. And I know the other girl played in Moon Knight from the TV show Moon Knight on Disney Plus. And that movie was absolutely horrendous. I felt like, I know I saw someone leaving, but that was because of different reasons. A reason I would never leave is because it is a same-sex couple. That's not the reason. I absolutely liked the storyline, but the ending was horrific. And Chris Stuckman reviewing this film and giving it high praise, because remember, he was only reviewing good films. He is no longer reviewing bad films. Yet he reviewed Love Lies Bleeding, and his reasoning makes it even worse for me, because he said because the audience with the ending all had mixed emotions, that doesn't make the film good at all. It was so bad. The CGI in it was absolutely horrendous. No offense to Kristen Stewart, but just that acting, again, just is not up to standards to tell a story. And it just was really bad. I just really didn't like that film. And like I said, I kept saying, I hope I do not find a film that is worse than Love Lies Bleeding. Thankfully, I found that, so it's second worst film. But for a movie viewing, it was the worst in the cinemas, for sure. Another forgettable one. All of these are very forgettable. I forgot Imaginary, don't remember the plot. Love Lies Bleeding, I wish I could forget. It was so bad I forget. I want to forget. One, again, I was so anticipating this film. I love the story, not the trilogy, because this one just fell flat for me. But I love the first two films, and that is Maxxxine. I was really looking forward to seeing the follow-up to X, and I liked Pearl, and I liked Pearl a lot more than Maxxine's story. Maxxine's story was just very meh. not what I was excited for, not what the hype was. And Kevin Bacon, is nice to see him again, but very overacted, which, sorry, just how I feel. I was excited to see it, but it just fell flat as heck. Is I.S.S. It was a good idea, but it came out at the beginning of the year. It wasn't Oscar worthy. It wasn't anything, again, really memorable, but it was interesting. So it wasn't the worst, but it's beginning just, it's still part of the forgettable ranking. The next one isn't forgettable, but again, I was anticipating it. Like I said, there's another film about imaginary friends that I was excited to see. But the problem with this film is I could see the twist ending from the start. It is a kid's film, so maybe a child would have been odd at the twist ending. But I knew from the get-go that Ryan Reynolds' character was an imaginary friend. And that is the film If, starring Ryan Reynolds, directed by John Krasinski. Good film. It was cute. But again, I could see the plot twist from the beginning. And it didn't fall flat. I remember it. It just wasn't as wow as they were trying to make it seem it was going to be. Okay, the next film I'm only ranking so kind of low because it was so distracting. Cinematically is beautiful. I don't remember really any of the songs, but there were a couple songs I liked in it. But I haven't given my review on it. But the film Wicked was so distracting because I was trying to watch it unbiasedly from the Ariana Grande drama of her, no offense, but kind of being a homewrecker and taking a man who just had a baby away from a woman that he just had praised was the best mom and all this stuff. I was trying to take away. But the guy, the SpongeBob guy that she had the affair with is in the movie and is like Google-eyeing her the whole time. And then they call the school of Shiz, and I know nothing about the Wicked, like, lore, but if that's really what it's called, like, it was so distracting. They're like, oh, welcome to the school of Shiz. Like, doesn't Shiz mean shit? Or, like, Snoop Dogg type stuff? Like, what? It was so distracting. So I couldn't fully enjoy Wicked because it was just so distracting. This is why I haven't been filming that much this year. That right there. The next film is, again, kind of forgettable. I did do a review on it. I thought I was going to like it a lot more than I did. And the reason I didn't is because they didn't really talk about the story of Arthur the King. They took the dog, about the athletes, and I know nothing about athletes, so I couldn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. The next film is The Fall Guy. It was okay. It was funny. I love Ryan Gosling. I love Emily Blunt. It wasn't the greatest film, but also wasn't the worst. So next film I'm going to put down as Gladiator II. It was really good. My husband and I went to go rewatch Gladiator 2. I didn't do a review on it, but we went to go rewatch Gladiator, and he only rented it for 2 days, but I fell asleep. So during half of the movie, we waited more than 2 days to watch it again. So we didn't get to rewatch the whole of Gladiator. So, but it was good for the little knowledge we knew about the Gladiator franchise. Again, I thought it was obvious that the main character was Lucius. That was like a no-dur. So when they're trying to make that, I don't know, spoilering stuff just really doesn't. Maybe I'm just catching on to things too much, but it wasn't a big spoil for me. Spoil review is A Quiet Place Day 1. It was really good. I do prefer the way they showed Day 1 in A Quiet Place 2, where it shows from Emily Blunt's family, John Krasinski's family, like that whole side of like what happened on Day 1. This story didn't, it just, like they said, they could make a TV show and show like a lot of different perspectives of what happened on day one of A Quiet Place lore. They didn't really enhance the lore of it, and it was just okay. It's kind of funny because I do like that kid. I don't remember his name right now, but he is in both A Quiet Place Day 1 and Gladiator II. He's a pretty good actor. I like him. Next, I'm going to put... I actually am going to put Night Swim in between Abigail and A Quiet Place Day 1. It was good. Again, it is based from a short film on YouTube, and they made a whole movie out of it. Was it great? No. But was it memorable? For me, it was. I saw it twice. I actually really enjoyed it. I don't think they need to make another one, but it was okay. For the horror movies, it's bottom tier, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a good way to kick off the year. I remember that was the first film I watched in January, so I liked it. It was memorable for me. The film is Abigail. It was really good. Again, they spoiled the fact that she is a vampire in the trailers, and I think that one would have been a good film to not spoil that in the trailer and to have seen reactions on if people hadn't known she was the vampire, because they were kind of talking like they didn't want you to know that fact, but we already knew that fact because the trailers said that fact. So it would have been, I think, better had they not revealed in the trailers that Abigail was a vampire. But for what it was unique, it was different, and I enjoyed it, and I loved Melissa Barrera. She's a very great and talented actress, and I hope she gets more work, and it's nice to see her in other things other than that other franchise she was in. Is one that I did not see in theaters, but I heard a lot of buzz about, and I like that it's kind of more of an indie film. And Demi Moore absolutely fucking slayed in The Substance. That was bizarre. It felt like Requiem for a Dream, a fever dream with Black Swan, like all of these kind of Darren Aronofsky. I could have totally seen this been directed by Darren Aronofsky, but it wasn't. It's a female director. I'll put her name down below. I don't know it right now, but that film, I watched it so many times. I don't know why, because it's so gross. There's so many things in it that's so gross, but it was really good. It really highlights beauty standards for women and the industry of Hollywood and just feeling younger, and would you go through all that just to be young again? And probably not, because I already fight with myself a lot. So if I had a second version of me to physically fight, that would not be good. Squeeze. So at 6th place is Smile 2. I am psychotic, and my husband, when Smile came out in theaters, I was like, do you want to see Smile or Terrifier 2? And he's like, he'd rather see Smile. But we never actually ended up seeing it. And then when I showed interest in it, he's like, I don't want to watch it. So I saw that Smile 2 was out, and I'm like, I'm going to brave it and watch both of them. So I watched Smile and Smile 2 in one night, and I really like it. It's really creepy, but I really like the creature of it, and the little demonic creature of it. I know he's kind of creepy looking, but I like that it's like he's an actual demon that you can eventually see. I do think the Voss water, my theory is that the Voss water made her crazy, because obviously they sponsored the movie, because she downed so much Voss water. And there is a theory out there that the demon was making her think she was drinking all this water, but really she was dehydrating herself, because in the hospital, the mom said, oh, you're very dehydrated. It's like, how? Because she's drinking all this water, all this Voss water. But I think that's a good theory, or that the water made her go crazy. That's my personal theory, but it was really good. It's a good follow-up, and I'm actually really excited to see Smile 3. Next, we have The First Omen. Yes, it's high up on 5th place, top 5 movies, and it will stay at top 5. I'm disappointed after I rewatched The Omen that first came out. I can't say The First Omen because this one's called The First Omen, but The Omen that first came out, if you rewatch it, it makes The First Omen that I had a great experience with. I'm on a whole religious journey now because of this film, because I remembered and I loved when they're like, it's basically this plot to get rid of the Catholic Church. And I'm like, as I was doing my reviews, as I was remembering I wanted to go into the nunnery, as I remembered my path on this religious journey, I've been reinvigorated to be like, it is important in my journey to stick with that faith. And I know I abandoned it, but it's been a beautiful journey coming back to it. But when you watch The Omen that first came out, the whole point is the guy said, your mother was a jackal. The mother of Damien was a jackal. He didn't tell Damien that. He told Damien's father. He said the mother was a jackal. And they cut him off. He's like, the mother was a jack. And then, someone cuts him off. But they also go to the gravesite where they dig up the mother of Damien, and it is the bones of a dog or some kind of dog creature, aka a jackal. So as great as Neil Tiger, I forget her last name, of an actress she was, and the great performance she gave, it makes no sense because Damien's mom wasn't human. So we can't have an origin story of how she gave birth to Damien and his sister because the mother was a jackal. So it really, because it was going to be, guys, it was going to be my number one. I loved that. I loved the movie experience of it. I loved the lore of it. And again, it put me on a really beautiful journey. And the moment I rewatched the first Omen that came out, and I realized the mom's a fucking jackal. Like, there's no point in the first Omen now. Oh, the disappointment. Next is my 4th one, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I really like this one, and my husband and I rewatched all the Planet of the Apes. And again, I personally went down a religious journey with it because it's like we watched all of the films of Caesar, not the old ones, but James Franco and all that. Not James, well, he is in it, but Andy Serkis playing Caesar. And it really, this one sets in the era 3,000, I think, years later, after Caesar's time and after he passes away. So no one who listened to Caesar, followed Caesar, watched Caesar's journey, witnessed it, is around. So it's now just a myth. It's now just this is how Caesar would have wanted things. And of course, people are going to twist that. No, this is how Caesar wanted things. And they're doing all this corrupt stuff in the name of Caesar. And it's like, if you really actually paid attention, that's opposite of what Caesar was wanting to teach and to put out there. And again, it kind of reminds me of Jesus. And I did actually watch The Passion of the Christ this year. I tried to do a watch along, but I watched it when I was in religious education as a kid, but I never actually took it in. So I rewatched it. It was great. The watch along failed because I didn't know how to edit. So I'm learning how to edit for my phone. And I didn't know, so it got demonetized. So I just took it down. But it was a beautiful movie. And we'll talk back again about Passion of the Christ a little later. But yeah, I really liked the journey that the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes put me down. And it was really great to watch all of that kind of come full circle and see how that goes. Proximus Caesar definitely wasn't the best villain as, God, what was the guy's name? I think Ash, was the evil chimpanzee in the second Planet of the Apes, but it was still really great. 3rd movie, and again, this was my first movie for a long time until something, no offense, better came along, thank the world, because I was like, how can Mean Girls the musical be my number one for this year? Not a bad thing. I still love all those songs. I have the whole track list of it. I love Mean Girls, the musical. At first, I was like, I guess I'll check this stupid movie out. But I love Mean Girls, and I'm like, why are we remaking this? This looks so dumb. The trailer looked dumb. Why are we singing? And then a coworker told me that this is actually making the musical into a movie. I'm like, when the hell was there a Mean Girls musical? Well, the musical came from the movie, so now they're combining the movie and the musical. It's so confusing. It's still kind of unnecessary, but it was good. I liked it. I like all the songs. And Renee, what is her name? Oh my gosh, I totally forgot now. That seems like a lifetime ago I watched this movie. But the singer who played Regina George became obsessed with her. Like, I love her. She's awesome. Still not better than the movie, the film, Mean Girls. But it blew me away. And I loved how Lindsay Lohan was in it. When I was in the theater and she came on screen, a bunch of girls behind me were like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, they're fucking serious. Like, bow down, bitches. Like, that's Lindsay motherfucking Lohan. She had a glow up. She made it out of her really bad era of what Hollywood puts them through. She made it out, and she is doing awesome. She's beautiful. She's a mother. Go her. Rock on. Like, I love seeing her in it. Yeah, I just love Mean Girls. For the longest time, that was my number one, Mean Girls the musical. And then the second one came out, and this was my number one and most anticipated, and I'm so glad it's so high up on the list. It's number 2, Deadpool and Wolverine. The MCU needed something. They did. He literally is following my whole religious journey this year. Marvel Jesus, the Messiah, he came to revamp the MCU. And Deadpool did amazing. I never saw the second one. I did see snippets of it when he went back in time and all that stuff and was in the Wolverine film. So it was really cool. And I love Hugh Jackman. I love that he reprised it. And I love the Easter egg because I love The Greatest Showman. I love the Easter egg when they're fighting in the car. And for a split second, it's like, oh, from The Greatest Showman. I was like, oh, fucking love that. All the little Easter eggs. Channing Tatum being able to come and portray his most wanted character as well. But, and then having Elektra in there and motherfucking Blade, and there only be one Blade, which was a little disrespectful because he knew they were making another Blade, but, you know, he's not wrong. Amazing. Just amazing. I loved it. The NSYNC intro, best intro ever. Last year's best intro went to Evil Dead Rise. That was the best intro title card. This title card, every time I play my playlist now, I start with NSYNC's Bye 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 now. I love it. The dancing, the fact that they hired that guy and he had no idea he was going to be in the movie, like, just amazing. I just absolutely loved it. It was really great. If I were to do, I wanted to do a watch along or review series of Agatha All Along. But I think that also revived it too and got me excited for Halloween. And I never talked about it, but I loved Agatha All Along. At first, I thought that one was pointless too, but it was great. I know that's not a movie, but just sidebar, I really loved that show. So, here we are. Back to the number one movie of 2024. Can you guess what it was? Did I say that Deadpool and Wolverine was the most highly anticipated movie? Did I say that? It was highly anticipated. But you know what my number one was? Terrifier 3. I'm going to show you something. Real fast. You know, I already have a copy of Terrifier 3. Look, he's next to the Christmas tree. Isn't that cute? Wait, he's getting further right. There he is. Haha. Of Art the Clown. Terrifier 3. I fucking adore this franchise. I'm so proud of this franchise. Damien Leone had an idea of just literally a clown on a bus, an antagonizing woman, reading this book. And you know how this one ends? with art on a bus with a woman reading The Ninth Circle, which was the first film Damien Leone ever made back in 2006. On a bus, antagonizing this woman. And it ends just like that, like, oh, you guys, it was great to see art in theaters on the big screen. And it's like, now he's like, Jack Skellington, do you watch Terrifier 3 during Halloween? Or do you watch it during Christmas? Both. That question to both films, both. He is just so amazing. The idea, the dream, and they out budgeted. I have all those numbers somewhere, but they out budgeted themselves. They outsold themselves, and going to see Art the Clown than they did for people to go see Joker 2. I love Joker. I did not see Joker 2. I love the first Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. I did not see this one. I was too busy seeing Art the Clown and Terrifier 3. I did a whole breakdown of all the Terrifier films. I'll probably remake that one now that I know how to better edit and everything, because I was just literally talking to myself and it's boring, and I got a review that comment saying it sounded like I was reviewing drywall, so that's great. Thank you. But it was absolutely, I just pulled this back out. This is all my notes for the whole franchise of Terrifier. And main thing is Tinsley Studio. I told you we were going to talk about Passion of the Christ again. They made the Crown of Thorns for Jesus and Passion of the Christ. Same studio made the Crown of Thorns for Sienna and Terrifier 3. And their budget was $2 million. They brought in 18.3. Yeah, they pulled in 18.3 million opening weekend. Not opening week, opening weekend. I'm so proud of this franchise. And I almost had an opportunity to go to a horror con in I think Chicago, Illinois. I think Illinois. To go meet David Howard Thornton for a photo op. And I would have loved to do that, but I really need to like not spend all that money right now. But that, if I ever get to meet David Howard Thornton, and if he's dressed up as Art the Clown, like I will just be so freaking happy. Oh my gosh, I love him so much. The idea, the portrayal. I will watch this movie. It's very disturbing. There are things that really get pushed in it. There are parts that I did turn away from. I saw this film with my sister. She's beginning to really love Art the Clown. And I knew this was going to be number one when my husband was like, you're talking about this more than you do Squid Game. Which, by the way, segue, kind of like how I segue into Agatha all along. TV shows, I haven't finished Squid Game season 2, but I'm loving it so far. It's really good. It's very, again, obvious, the plot twist. But, guys, I love Terrifier 3. It was one man's dream, and he's making his dreams come true. And just, I love to show him as much love and support as I can. Okay, so right when you think it's over, right when I think it's over, I realized I forgot 2 more movies. I saw a total of 21 movies in 2024. It is now officially 2025. I got this video out late, the one video I was gonna wrap up the year with, and now we're beginning the year with. I forgot 2 movies in the 2024 listing, so that's why this is late. But I did also see Beetlejuice, as well as Alien Romulus. And so I did have to go, and basically I'm just going to list off my ranking again from lowest to best. And I did have to place them accordingly. I do think I made a review for Alien Romulus. I was quite disappointed with that one, as well as Beetlejuice. I wasn't disappointed, but it was just kind of boring. I don't know. Films just may not be my thing. I'm just very bored with them right now. I just think they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel with a lot of ideas. But it was nice seeing Michael Keaton again, and I did enjoy it better than Alien Romulus, that's for sure. But here I'm going to put my whole ranking. So 21 is Imaginary, 20 is Love Lies Bleeding, 19 is Maxxxine, 18 is I.S.S, 17 is Alien Romulus, 16 is If, 15 is Wicked, 14 is Arthur the King, 13 is The Fall Guy, 12 is Beetlejuice, 11 is Gladiator II, 10 is A Quiet Place Day 1, 9 is Night Swim, 8 is Abigail, 7 is The Substance, 6 is Smile 2, 5 is The First Omen, 4 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, 3 is Mean Girls, 2 is Deadpool and Wolverine, and 1 is Terrifier 3. But that is my listing of best films in 2024. But guys, please put down your list of the favorite films you guys have seen. I'm sure it's different because I'm sure people saw a lot more films than I did. I still failed to see that many. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing this. Again, I'm so busy. I'm working 10 hours a day, sometimes 12 at work, 4 days a week. And then I'm doing some side jobs as well with my antique booth. And then being a mom, all this stuff. It's a lot. I thought the YouTube stuff would be a lot more doable, but when I was on maternity leave, it was. And now that I'm full-fledged into like basically 3.5 jobs right now, like it's a lot. So, but please give this video a like. Comment your favorites from least to best or best to least, or just what films did you enjoy this year. And let's have a nice film discussion down below. And please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next year. All right, take care. Bye. Have a happy new year.